Hello there, welcome to the making of U.F.O by Love Letters from Space. Hopefully I can film the entire thing outdoors and edit it on my phone, because being in my studio on a day like this would be rather warm. I will first tell you about the creative process, and then I will tell you a little bit about the other people involved in the song, and then I will tell you about any technical difficulties and obstacles and sort of things that new things I had to learn to be able to do it. I got the initial idea for the song when I was in the shower. If you pay me enough money, I will recreate the shower scene. A few things that were different about this song from how I normally make songs. One is that with this song, once I had the initial idea, I sat in, just sort of sat there or lay there in silence for, anytime I had some time, whether it could be when I was going to sleep or when I was having a cup of tea. I just sat and listened to the song in my head, and I waited until I could hear the whole song all the way through in my head before I recorded anything. So I don't normally do that. I usually start recording little ideas and mess around with them. Once I could hear the whole thing in my head, I wrote it all down, or transcribed it all into notation. Partly because there was some strange time signature changes that I couldn't figure out. Another different thing for me on this song was that this is the first time I had worked with remote session musicians, as in I send them a demo of the song and some notes, some notation, some guidelines, that sort of thing, and they sent me back their drum tracks, bass track, some trumpets, and I hadn't done that before either. Every other song I've ever recorded or worked on with anybody had mostly been done in us, with us working together in the same room. I have done it the other way around. I have recorded guitar solos for people and sent them back before, but this is the first time I'd hired other people to record parts on my song, and they'd done it remotely. Wherever you're watching this video, you'll find a link to a Google Drive folder where you can download some of the scores that I sent to people, maybe some of the audio files that they sent me back, that sort of thing. The drum tracks were recorded by an amazing drummer called John Sim. I'd been a fan of John's drumming for a very long time, and then our mutual friend Andrew Pimblott mentioned that you can actually just hire John to record drums on your songs and he will send them back. He's really busy, so I was really lucky that I managed to get him to do it, but the drum tracks he sent me were just perfect first time. As well as being a great drummer, he's a really great producer, really great engineer, and has his drum studio. It seems really well equipped. He's got, loads of nice drum gear, loads of nice mics, things like that. I didn't really know him at the time. I've met him a couple of times since then, and he's a really lovely person as well. Another drummer that needs a mention here is Cray Smith, who plays live with Love Letters from Space. The reason I didn't originally get Cray to record the drums on this song is because neither of us were set up to record drums at the time. I am set up to record drums in my studio now, but I wasn't at the time, so we got John to do it. But when we played the song live, I was so impressed with how well Cray learnt the song. I'm going to include a little screenshot of his message to me when he was learning the song, because I asked him if he wanted any notes sending to him. Do you want like a score? Do you want me to map out all the bars in the song and the different time signatures and stuff like that? And he said, no, I'll know the song better if I learn it myself, just from listening to it. And really quickly, he sent me back a list of all the time signature changes. We're going to talk about the time signatures later on in this video, but I was so impressed with how quickly Cray figured them out, because it took me quite a while to figure them out. The bass tracks were recorded by Andy Travis, an amazing bass player and an awesome guy that I've known for many, many years. And we've always wanted to work on something together. But as you know, a lot of musical projects, like, they start and then they don't they don't go as far as we'd like them to. But the most impressive thing about this was I sent this song to Andy Travis, to you, and an hour later, literally an hour later, bang on an hour, he sent me back a perfect bass track. And that includes, you know, downloading the song, putting it into whatever he's recording it in, learning it, doing his takes and sending it back. And not only that, he's doing this just while he's looking after his kids in the living room, and they're dancing around whilst he's playing his takes. So impressive. And I've spoken to some other people that have had him play bass on their songs, and they've said exactly the same thing. The bass track comes back super fast without any changes needing done to it. Really impressive stuff. Another interesting thing about working with remote session musicians is that some of them you'll know really well, and some of them you'll have never met, and everything in between. So Trav, the bass player, he's a really good mate, and I've known him a very, very long time. John, I've met a few times, and it's more like I'm a fan of his, and we have some mutual friends. And then the trumpet player, Dima Fustav, I don't even know that guy. He was advertising on Fiverr saying that he records horn parts, and I sent him a score of what I wanted played, and he sent it me back a few days later. I think he lives in Ukraine, and it was perfectly played, perfectly recorded straight away. If you're interested to see what I sent him and what he sent back, then that should all be in the folder with the things that I sent to Trav and to John, and with the conversations that me and Cray had about the time signatures.
Start having barking.
The hardest part of making this song was the time signatures in the section of the verse. Have a quick listen to it now.
Knock, knock, who's there? It is the universe calling your name from inside your brain. Have we met before? You must recognize me. I was here this whole time. I am your body and your mind. What time is it? It is always now. The past has already been. The future is just a dream. What do you want from me? I ask nothing of you. I invite you to become whatever version of yourself you choose to be.
So those time signatures took me quite a long time to figure out, because I could hear the whole song in my head, and by that I mean, you know, like if I say try and think of your favourite song now and try and hear it in your head, you can hear it. I was just trying to do that with a song that I'm writing, you know, so one that doesn't already exist. So I was waiting until it sounded like that in my head. But even once I could hear it all the way through, I don't really know much about it. I didn't know at that point what the time signatures were, I just knew what it sounded like. So I had to sit and figure them out. I sort of just do it like this. I just find what the tempo was, and I just put a metronome on like that, and then I sort of count on my fingers like this, you know, sort of like knock, knock, who's there? It is the universe calling your name from inside your brain. And I realised that this part here, calling your name from inside your brain, is actually in eighth notes, not quarter notes, and I've got to set the metronome like this. You know, and I'm counting along with that. Knock, knock, who's there? It is the universe calling your name from inside your brain. Have we met before? And the reason why the reason I think the time signatures ended up so weird for that bit is because it is sung, but it's a conversation. That part of the song, you've got the person having a conversation with the universe, and finding out that they are in fact the universe, because we're all just made up of little bits of universe, aren't we? That's kind of what this song's about. Because it's sung in a way that's more like speech and more like a conversation, the time signatures are naturally going to end up a bit weird, because if you recorded yourself having a conversation with somebody, and then listened back to it and tried to write it down in musical notation, the timings would be really weird. They wouldn't fit to a set 4/4 thing. So that's all that happened there, and I think that's why the time signatures ended up really kind of odd and complex there. And the only other difficulty with the song was they hadn't used a vocoder, you know, like a robot voice before. I actually left that bit to Andrew originally when he was mixing it, and he sent me a few examples, and then we just chose one. And then I wanted to do that live, so he recommended a vocoder pedal, the Boss vocoder pedal. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but that's what I use live. And maybe when the weather's not as nice as it is now, I will go into my studio and I will record a little demo of how to use that. Other than that, it was just business as usual. The guitar solo, I think I improvised a few takes and then just chose which one I liked most. And the rest of it, I think, is fairly standard, kind of like funk rhythm guitar type stuff. I'm really keen to show you the other songs I've been working on, so I'm not going to do much promo on this song other than this little making of video that you've just watched. So U.F.O. by Love Letters from Space, it should be on all the streaming platforms today, I guess. I'll put it on today.